Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's been a few weeks now. Haven't been able to get much gaming in or much recording, but this weekend just gone by we managed to get together, a few of us, a couple of newer players, myself and my friend James, who's been on the channel before, and we got some Runewars in. So let's go through the games for the day. The first game I played was actually against Rebecca, who's very new to tabletop gaming in general, and she has a Daqan army. So here are the lists. I was going for something similar but a bit different to what I've been running recently. So I've got a couple of solo scions, just to add the points, and I like blocking with them. And the meat and potatoes of the army is a big block of Deepwood archers that has Megan in it, the fire rune, the support sign, and the close quarters targeting. This unit is just absolutely bonkers. It will just take pretty much anything out. 2x2 of Leonks with metered march and moment of inspiration. I'm just a big fan of this unit, very cost effective and fairly forgiving. Aliana down here with Malcolm's bequest to help fire that fire rune, and ambush predator because why not. And then here in a slot where I've had some Darnati before, a second unit of archers. I'm just trying out something a little bit different, so I've thrown in another small unit of Leonks riders with rank discipline because obviously. For Rebecca, she went for a fairly straightforward list, not too many tricks, very solid, lots of damage output. So a 2x2 of Oath Sworn with rank discipline, a big 6 block of Spearmen with a Citadel Weapons Masters for that extra dice, carry with Fortuna's dice, the man that glues all of this together, Lord Hawthorne, with the Shield of Margoth and the Might of Daqan. His job was essentially to give out inspiration tokens and then sit in combat and kill stuff, and some heavy crossbowmen with rank discipline. So, on we go. So we were playing Demoralize Their Forces and playing Mutual Reinforcements. So here we are after deployment. Now I think I was out deployed here. It's a little bit fuzzy, but here we go. I've got my big unit of archers facing this way, thinking I could come in and put pressure on the big block. I've got a scion here to slow them down. I'd put Aliana up here basically before these guys were there, so my hope was to come in and put pressure on the crossbowmen who are here. Got another scion here which went in response to her cav, who as you can see are 4 wide and 1 deep thanks to Hawthorne's ability. So he's just hopefully going to slow them down. I've got my overgrown terrain here for some support sign shenanigans. And over here, in a sort of unfortunate position, I've got my big unit of Leonks and my support unit of Leonks. They don't really want to enter this area here, because basically they'll get shot to shreds by carry and the crossbowmen. But if they can hold their attention for long enough, hopefully my archers and Aliana can do enough. But I honestly felt thoroughly out deployed here. There's also a Darnati monument here, so all of stuff that Hawthorne's going to be giving inspiration to at the end of the turn is going to get more inspiration, so yay. So turn 1, 4 red runes, brilliant, except I'm not in range for anything, but hey ho. Hawthorne goes, does his normal shenanigans, popping out some inspiration everywhere. Here we go. That's Carrie going to get a bit more inspiration, because she really wants some inspiration tokens to power those Fortuna's dice. Rebecca moves her cavalry up here into the building. That's quite good, because I don't think I'm able to see them with the archers, or I might just be able to, but her idea was to put pressure on me, and then if needs be she can pop back out and go where she needs to go. I just sort of slowly shift my scion up. I then shift and reform my archers. Now I wasn't able to shoot the cav this turn. You'll also see this scion here has moved up a bit, and I do believe Aliana's just shifted up a little bit. I don't want to overextend and let that big block get into me before the archers have had some time to soften them up. So the idea is hopefully they're going to either neutralise the knights or force the knights to pick another target, and these guys just need to keep them busy. My knights here, I was able to move them up, and thanks to metered march and some range pre-measuring here, I stopped them so that Carrie wasn't in range next turn. And over here, these guys just bombed it right up, and the plan is that at the start of next turn, before these guys shoot, I'll be able to get them round onto the flank here. And that's pretty much the way things look at this point. So we're going to turn 2. 2 reds, 2 greens. I think that's my favourite combo at the moment for Fire Rune, because I want to get as much out of Megan's lethal as I can, so the double green is fairly useful for that. So yeah, I thought I was being sneaky, and I was trying to charge my Scion into the cab, assuming that she had dialed in some form of move to get them out of there before they got shot to shreds, hoping that if she hadn't put the shift in, because I don't know if they do have a shift, in fact, they were locked in and these guys could just go to town. Unfortunately, I had misread that my banking charge is at a -1, so this Scion just sort of sits there and looks sad. She had, like I'd thought, gone for her 3 initiative move with the knights, and she tried to get them out of the way, but just wasn't enough. And we'd looked at it, and we weren't sure if it was going to work or not, and it turns out she's just in range with the archers, unless I did something wrong here. Like I said, my cav here just moved right up. I'm hoping to put some pressure on the crossbows. Carrie goes off for a wander, hoping to put some pressure out here, and some interesting things are going to happen soon. The archers open fire on the cav. I only get the 1 hit despite about 1,000,004 rerolls, so that's not too bad. So I take 2 of them off, and then the Fire Rune kills another 2. That means that is just, without really breaking a sweat, that is well, 4 cav. Just so that unit is also a lot less scary all of a sudden. Oh, you'll notice, if we go back, you'll notice that she's pushed these guys right up and armoured them up, expecting a charge from the Scion or from Aliana. I just shift Aliana back. It's turn 2. I'm absolutely not ready, even in the slightest, to commit her. So she is backing away. She wants none of this. Over on the left hand side, my Leonks had come round to put pressure on the spearmen. Now, I wasn't actually expecting the cav to come around this way, so now they're in this horrible position where, yeah, they're sandwiched between something really hitty and horrible and something still fairly hitty and horrible, and then sort of stuck because the crossbowman can then hit them, so it's not looking brilliant for them. Hawthorne has just done his ability again to give out a few more inspiration and rally up. And we sort of go into turn 3. That's where we are at this point. No reds, despite re-rolling. But luckily, this is a turn where my archers are probably just going to have to reposition to get back into the fray. Ooh, a bit fuzzy here. But I go for an early charge with my Scion before these guys get to armour up. He'd taken a pot shot at them. If you'd seen last turn, I dialed in a shot, but because they'd armoured up early, did nothing. I think I might have popped one out, being lucky. But I decide to go in. I'd rather charge than be charged, thinking that possibly she had dialed in a charge anyway. And they get the immobilised token, and a stun, and some die. But, you know, I think, yeah, I got the double surge you can see here that gives them the stun token. My Scion, for whatever reason, is just sitting in this terrain now because, to be honest, I didn't really know. It needs to get back into the fight and it has to go through the terrain for that. Over on this side, Carrie charges in and does approximately 1,004 damage. Yep. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Now, seeing this coming, had decided to shift my cav away. These guys sort of shift and reform, and you see the crossbowmen have also reformed and moved in closer. Yeah, an epic fight is about to start. She dialed in a really good charge with her cav, who go in and smash the living daylights out of my cavalry unit. So like I said, they got themselves into a bit of a pickle over on that flank. Didn't use them particularly well at all, but they look cool, so yay. And that's the state of the board at the end of the turn. We've got some archers here getting back into the fight. Aliana being incredibly brave. Some lions here dead, and some stuff over on the left flank. Into turn 4, 2 red, 2 green, that's all I need. I mean, another blue somewhere, somehow would be nice, because my trees are really squishy otherwise, but hey ho, can't have everything. Yep, she goes early with Carrie, who was out of combat, and just shoots and rallies, and just and they die. Oh, and of course she'd picked up an objective token for the flank charge earlier on, which was nice. I go in early with my cav, pick off a few crossbowmen. I get some form of panic from the impact, but not a lot really happens. Over here, now, this is where things went wrong, and we spoke after the game about it, and this comes from Rebecca being quite new to the game. Is I knew that the spearmen could attack on 3. Now it's a yellow, I think, so they can't do their hit modifier, but I was expecting it and it didn't come, so I knew she'd dialed in the late attacker with the later attack. The problem is I had initiative this turn, so they attack otherwise I think on a 4 or 5, but it makes no difference because I was able to go here with my scion and do a load of damage on them because I dialed in a hit, and more importantly they weren't armoured up, and I got the accuracy token I needed to take out the weapons master in the front rank, which was huge. Over on this side, Hawthorne decides to actually get off his butt and get into the game, except he's going the long way round. Oh, blurry action shot. That was because the archers opened fire and absolutely decimated this thing here. Or was that oh no, I think that's Aliana going in and absolutely decimating them. She got bored. And these guys shot. So between them, basically, archers go bye-bye. Oh, the archers hit these guys actually swing back and get a fairly decent hit and a couple of wounds on the tree because they're only defense 2 this turn. And with the hit dialed in, I think must have got the perfect 3-hit roll or something. So that's the state of the board. We've got some cavalry here that have reformed to come back, hit the fight. We've got a nasty knife chucking lady here. I've got a big unit of archers ready to take out anything that looks at me, and a really, really important fight over here on the other side. Into turn 5, 3 green, whoop whoop, and 2 red. These guys this turn actually do attack early because he's only defense 2 and kill the tree. Poor guy. Blech. But Aliana swings back and takes the little buggers out. Over on this side, yeah, Rebecca had initiative this turn, so the crossbows go and kill 2 of my cav. Great fun. That automatic hit on and a fight at 4 is actually really tasty on a range unit. The cav hit back and do a little bit of damage, but there's also the protected one here that's that's helping her out. Over on this side, some things move a bit. There's some moving going on, and my archers. Oh, this guy's moved out. Yeah, I think my archers are dialed in a move in case a shoot in case she'd moved in, but she just armoured up, and so not a lot happened, I think. Yeah, in the fight here, we're down to 3 crossbowmen versus 1 Leonx. We'll see how that goes. Carrie's coming up. She takes the full fury of the archers in the face and takes 3 wounds. But ultimately, I mean, at this point I think she's behind on points, so she has to push something and hope that I get a duff roll or something, or just target saturation. Hawthorne's coming in. I'd tried to sweep in with Aliana, but yeah, didn't quite make it. I'm looking for the flank charge, but I didn't quite get in there. Into turn 7, 2 red, 2 green, 2 blue. Yeah, she goes with carry, and I think this was it. She just wanted to get as much damage on me as possible, so took off a few archers here. Aliana goes in, gets the flank charge, and just wipes her out. Over here, the Leonks have lost. Yeah, they lost out against the crossbowmen. The mighty crossbowmen finally destroyed the last Leonks. And that was the main thing for the turn. And into turn 8, we're doing a bit of mop up here. She actually charges Lord Hawthorne into my archers. Now I had gone through the upgrades on them, but you know, things are what they are. So he goes in, does a wee bit of damage. She dialed in a charge with the cav, but they sort of fall short because of the angles on it. And Hawthorne's taken a wound here somewhere, probably from my shooting back at him. And this is the state of play at the end, including a big fat thumb in the way of the camera. So we add it all up, including the flank charges that we may have picked up here and there, and the victory points, and it was actually a fairly close win to the Latari here. I think Rebecca just out-deployed me massively, and I had to rely heavily on my machine gun unit with Megan to get me out, dig me out of that hole. But there we go, that was 145 VP versus 105 VP. I think that's something like a 6-5 or a 7-4 in tournament terms. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Really good game, great start to the day. So I was buzzing, looking forward to my next game because I was going to be able to play Uthuk for the first time. So join me in the next battle report.